Think about that one app you downloaded for free maybe a decade ago. You've probably never paid a single cent for it, right? Well, it turns out it has managed to quietly extract a small fortune from you. And today, we're going to do the math and find out exactly how.
Yeah, $47,000. According to our source materials calculations, that's roughly how much a single free app has cost you over the last 12 years or so. And no, not in cash. It's cost you in something way, way more valuable. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That number sounds completely impossible. It sounds absurd. I mean, if an app asked you to pay $4,000 a year, you'd laugh it out of the room. But that's the trick, because the cost is hidden, paid in these tiny, invisible bits of your attention and your data. You don't even notice it's happening. So today, let's play detective. We're going to follow the money and see how this invisible bill actually gets tallied up.
All right, so to really understand this hidden price tag, we have to go back in time a little. We need to see how the whole idea of free just completely took over the digital world and, frankly, why our brains are so easily tricked by it.
I mean, just look at how fast this all happened. It's wild. When the App Store first launched back in '08, the deal was simple. You paid money, you got software. But fast forward just 4 years, and free apps were already making most of the money. By 2015, the paid app was basically a dinosaur. And why did this happen so fast? Simple psychology, really. For our brains, a price tag of 0 is just impossible to resist. And that gets us to the absolute core of it. Companies don't just give things away for fun. They're in it to make money. This quote really nails it. The way we pay just shifted. It went from something we could see, our credit card, to something totally invisible. Our attention, our personal data, and even our day-to-day behavior.
Okay, so let's start building this bill. We'll begin with the easy part, the most obvious bit. This number, $240, is what a company like Meta says it makes, on average, from a single user in North America every year. It's almost all from selling your attention to advertisers. But you gotta understand, this is just the tiny, tiny tip of the iceberg. Right, but that ad money? That's barely anything. It's a tiny fraction of what you're really paying. Now we get to the juicy part of this whole investigation, the incredible value of what you're giving up without even realizing it.
And to figure that out, we need to talk about a simple but powerful idea from economics called opportunity cost. It's not complicated. Basically, every hour you spend doing one thing is an hour you can't spend doing something else. And that something else, whether it's working, learning a skill, being with family, whatever, it has a real tangible value. And when you actually look at the amount of time we're talking about, wow, it is staggering. The average person spends almost 900 hours a year on social media. Let me put that another way for you. That's 22 full-time, 40-hour work weeks. Think about that. That's like working a full-time job from January all the way through June and getting paid absolutely nothing for it. It's all just scroll.
All right, you ready? Let's actually put the numbers together. Let's build your real annual bill for just one of these free services. We'll start with the part they actually admit to.
So here's that $240. That's what the platform makes from advertisers who want to get their products in front of your eyeballs. That's the visible cost. Now, let's add the invisible one. And now, let's add what your time is worth. Using a really conservative estimate, valuing only about half of that lost time at the median US wage, we get an additional $12,500. Whoa, suddenly that $240 looks like pocket change, doesn't it? This is the real payment you're making every single year. And you have to ask, why is the cost so high? Well, it all comes down to the business model, to their incentives. With a subscription app, their whole job is to serve you. They need to provide so much value that you're happy to keep paying them. But a free app, their incentive is the complete opposite. Their job is to extract from you, to maximize your engagement, to keep you hooked no matter what, so they can sell more ads and collect more data.
And this isn't just a theory. Let's look at a super clear, real-world example. Spotify Premium costs you about $120 a year. Simple. The free version of YouTube Music costs you $0, but you pay with your time. Up to 43 hours a year just listening to ads. If you put any value on your time, that free option actually costs you somewhere between $500 and $1,200 a year. The free option is literally 5 to 10 times more expensive. How crazy is that?
Okay, so we've seen the cost for one person. It's huge. But what happens when you zoom out? What does this look like for all of society? Well, we're not talking about a bill anymore. We're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar heist.
Get ready for this number, $2.7
trillion. That's not the GDP of some country. That's the combined value of just 3 of the companies built on this free model: Meta, Alphabet, and ByteDance. And that wealth didn't just appear out of thin air. It was transferred bit by bit invisibly from the attention and data of billions of users like you. It's one of the biggest transfers of wealth in all of human history.
And you know, the cost isn't just financial. Not even close. This constant pressure to maximize engagement at all costs has huge ripple effects on society. The algorithms learn that outrage, conflict, and division are super engaging. So what do? They feed us more of it, trapping us in these little filter bubbles. And what's the end result? A more polarized, more outraged society. Because that's what keeps us glued to our screens.
And then there's the price we pay with our own mental health. Leaked internal documents have shown over and over that these companies know their products can be harmful, especially for younger people. But their business model demands engagement above everything else. At the end of the day, their legal duty isn't to your well-being. It's to their shareholders, to hitting that quarterly earnings target for Wall Street.
So, okay, we've laid out all the evidence. We've looked at the personal cost, the societal cost, and now this last part really comes back to you. Now that you can see the hidden price tag, what's the verdict? What do you do with this information?
It really begs the question, right? If this whole system is so bad for us, why are we all still here? Why don't we just leave? Well, it mostly comes down to psychology. Our brains are weird. We feel this sharp pain of paying $10 right now, but we don't feel the slow, creeping cost of 1,000 hours lost over an entire year. We're also trapped by network effects. All our friends are there. And for many of us, there's this feeling of learned helplessness, this belief that, well, this is just how the internet works now and there's nothing we can do about it.
But here's the thing, it isn't inevitable. It really is a choice. And once you actually do the math, the reality is pretty stark. The total cost of free, and your time, your data, your mental health, your lost opportunities, is so much higher than any subscription fee. So look, the question was never if you're paying for these apps. You absolutely are. The real question is, now that you can see the true size of the bill, are you going to keep paying?